Leo, very warm welcome. My name's Drew. This is Modern Tarot. This is a mid-month reading for the month of May. Last 2 weeks of May, so 15th to the 31st. See what's happening for you guys. Some pleasant surprises, maybe, Leo. So I just want to put this marker down here. Let's have a look. Sorry. Leo. So yeah, month of May, what might be happening, what happened in the recent past, what might be going down, potential outcomes, what to watch out for, certainly, and these kind of things. So Leo, those of you new here, welcome, and those of you returning, welcome back. And please check out a reading I just posted, actually, or it's about to be posted. It's all about who's got you on your mind. They're quite interesting readings, to be honest. So Leo. Okay. We've got either in the center of this reading some kind of an apology, Leo, or this could be a brand new offering in love. We're going to go deeper with this reading and see what it's all about, okay? Could be an apology, could be an offer of love, okay, or could be something creative. The challenge is the Eight of Swords, okay? So, there's many scenarios. I need to go deeper with this reading straight away, okay? Sometimes the cards are, they're very self-explanatory. Other times, there's many layers and I need to see the cards around them. Okay, and then we've got Temperance as to the reason why it's all happening. This is something out of balance. Interesting reading. Okay, recent past. Okay, Leo, we had the King of Pentacles here. Money might have looked good. This could be a person in this reading here. It could be, an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Businessman, money looks good. These kind of things, all right? Recent past. Your focus is the Queen of Swords. This is you getting very clear with yourself, Leo. This is you saying what you mean and meaning what you say, okay? Some of you could be focused on this particular person. This could be a lawyer. You could be in talks with lawyers. This could be doctors. This could be these kind of things, all right? But this might be a focus for you throughout the last couple of weeks of May. What you don't see coming towards you is we've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, Leo. And so this is... some of you, this might be, those of you that work for yourselves, work might not be that strong, okay? Contracts might be a bit thin on the ground throughout the month of May, just a heads up, okay? Others of you, this is, what you don't see coming is either you or someone not putting the work into something, okay? Your energetic field, Ace of Cups, loving yourself, Leo. Your energetic field is you have so much beauty and love to offer. And people see that about you, okay? So you might be quite attractive this month in a very loving way. People might really warm to you, okay? It's nice, Leo. Outside influences, Emperor, all right? Some of you, the sign of Aries might be important. It comes out a lot in your readings. I always mention Aries in Leo readings. And that's why I put the marker at the start of the reading, because I didn't want to do it to you again. But the sign of Aries might be important, but outside influences, this could be someone quite stoic. This could be someone that kind of like rules his kingdom with an iron fist, and he's like stone, this guy, okay? This is outside influences, okay? All right, in your fears, we've got drama, competition, arguments, the Five of Swords here, harsh words, fighting, these kind of things, all right? This is a fear of yours, Leo. And the outcome is the Ace of Wands in reverse. So this can be a lack of passion. This could be a lack of zest for life, these kind of things, all right? So let's go deeper with this reading now, find out roughly what might be going down throughout the last 2 weeks of May. So the Page of Cups, why is that here, Leo? What is that all about? Page of Cups, remember, apology, a brand new offering of love, okay? The challenge is, being trapped, okay? Page of Swords in reverse here. Somebody, okay, just for some of you, it's not a personal reading. Some of you might get an apology for someone that you caught spying on you, okay, which has made you feel trapped, okay, almost like in a prison, Why is that here? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going down the last couple of weeks of May. Just watch out for someone that might come and apologize for spying, okay? Others of you, somebody might have had their eye on you for a long time and actually been spying on you, not in a sinister way. It doesn't have to be stalkerific, guys. and they might kind of make some kind of offering here, which might make you feel trapped, although you might, kind of drop your guard and open up to this person here. But, if it's someone's apologizing for spying on you, Leo, just watching you because of their own insecurities sometimes, okay, it makes you feel trapped, and you don't want to, defend yourself. And the reason why it's all happening is imbalance, okay? Okay, just for some of you guys, all right, there might be imbalance around an ending. So this could have been what either you or the other person might have ended things, which threw the other person out of balance, and they resulted on spying, watching you, these kind of things, and then being apologetic. When I see that collection of cards there, just watch out that you don't feel stalked, because that can make you feel trapped, all right? Not a very nice feeling. And the reason why it's all happening is a lack of balance around an ending. In the recent past, somebody might have been very committed and the other person wasn't really putting in that work. Another scenario can be, we've got the King of Pentacles here, businessman, these kind of things. Eight of Pentacles in reverse come out twice in this reading. This is someone not putting the work in. They might be committed, all right, but not really putting the work in. Interesting reading. Okay. So your focus, okay, is the Queen of Swords, okay? Some of you might be cutting something out last couple of weeks of May because you don't feel that they're the one, or you've stopped nurturing the situation with the Empress in reverse here. It might be you, Leo. Maybe you're cutting something out and you're not prepared to put any more work in, and because you're not working so hard on nurturing the situation, someone's resorted to spying on you, which has made you feel trapped. Okay, and what you don't see coming, you will get victory by not putting too much effort into things throughout the last couple of weeks of May, Leo. All right, we've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse here, and then we've got celebration. So you will be noticed, all right? Someone is gonna notice the fact that you're not putting the work in like as you once did, okay? And so your energetic field is, I think you're loving yourself throughout the last couple of weeks of May, Leo, by, not making major decisions. It's almost like you might be sitting back, eating popcorn, watching the show, okay? Outside influences, yeah, we've got the Emperor. Those of you, some of you might be dealing with the justice system, lawyers, solicitors in the UK, Europe, these kind of things, just watch out for this Emperor character. Could be a male, okay? But justice in reverse here. All right, just watch out for that. It might be something that might not go in your favor due to someone being really stoic and these kind of things, all right? So we've got the Emperor and the Empress in reverse here. Some of you guys, all right, this could be another scenario. Others of you might be going through divorces or deciding to divorce, these kind of things. And this Emperor doesn't like it one bit. And he might think that there's something untoward. And he might be spying on you, which is you might feel oppressed by this person, okay? Because you want to end it because somebody wasn't putting the work in, okay? You're fearing, whatever this might be, Leo, you are fearing conflicts around deceit, someone's deceitful behavior. Now, it could be you, Leo, all right? We can flip the script here. Let's say, for instance, this person's spying on you because you've given them reason to, okay? These kind of things. So it's almost like a fear of conflicts around someone's sneaky behavior. Right, and the outcome throughout the last couple of weeks of May is the Ace of Wands in reverse. This is like a lack of passion. Some of you are just deciding that, this was too heartbreaking. I feel betrayed. I'm letting it go. I don't feel passionate about this situation anymore. So let's go a little bit deeper, all right? It seems to be a complicated last couple of weeks for you, Leos, all right, where you're you might feel a little bit oppressed because, you might have exerted boundaries and the person doesn't like being called out. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. What is this about, Leo? One more. Separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Came out in reverse. Some of you, all right, you might have conversations throughout the last couple of weeks of May where you actually speak your truth about how someone makes you feel less than, okay? And that can be, doubting your integrity, spying on you, all of these kind of things. But really, it's just because you were super committed and somebody else wasn't putting in the work. What's that about? Tell me about that. Why would that be here? Why is that hit? The King of Pentacles, right, in the upright, and the Eight of Wands. You're too good for me. You deserve better. Whatever that might mean, Leo. Maybe, maybe by you speaking up, speaking your boundaries and going, hey, look, you know what? I mean what I say and I say what I mean. All right, throughout the last couple of weeks of May, you make me feel less than. Okay, and some of you might have stopped putting work in, or you might do throughout the month of May, which leaves this person out of balance. It might be you might bruise their ego. Okay, I like the togetherness. This is the center of the reading, all right? So this is an apology for spying or doubting you, like covertly watching you, because, Leo's not putting in the work anymore. They must be up to something. I like the togetherness I feel with you. Why is it always such an unnecessary struggle? So how I would read that, somebody might apologize for how they've been treating you or showing up, Leo, and they want to leave the struggles behind. But now you see what we've got here. I cannot leave them. I want my cake and eat it. So there is an imbalance which caused an ending, or is going to cause an ending, Leo. I just wonder whether, someone has stepped out, or has stepped out in the past, or is stepping out. And being a little bit deceitful. So look, this is you, Leo. Your focus is cutting something out, or could be people, places, and things, right? Where you didn't feel honored as the Empress should do, and you just found it all too immature and exhausting, and then you stopped putting work into it. And I think really what's going to happen is by you continuing, speaking your truth, Leo, throughout the month of May, by saying, hey, look, I don't feel honored here. You make me feel less than. I don't appreciate the spying. Look at your own behavior as to the reasons why I'm not putting work into something anymore. Okay, I swear we can almost read each other's minds. You will get victory, in the strangest way in certain situations by not putting the work in. You'll get victory that way, Empty vessels speak the loudest, they say. And then we've got, I can totally relax and be my authentic self around you. This is your energetic field. And this is what you want to be around. You want to be authentic around people, Leo. And you want them to be authentic too, My work is an important part of my life. Sorry if it seems to take over at times. This is, the outside influences. This is the Emperor, justice in reverse. My work, for some of you, maybe you weren't celebrated. Somebody's work really took over, so they were working on their money, their finances, their jobs, their careers, and not putting work into a relationship, which was an injustice to you. And this person is kind of might come around and apologize for that. My work's an important part of my life. Sorry if it seems to take over at times. So you've got to match their energy. What this reading is saying is, you match people's energy. If you're texting people, and they send you one or two lines, then just match that energy and see where it goes. It's quite interesting. Rather than over giving or under giving, you're always matching energies. And if you feel it's uncomfortable that you can only send one or two lines, it means that you need more input and more work from people because that's how you function. So it's matching energies, you know. Otherwise, you're doing all the work or you're not working at all. You know, it's an imbalance. It's temperance in reverse, right? I don't I don't want it to be over between us. It's a fear of yours. It's a fear of yours that your strategy of not putting the work in might cause, might cause some kind of arguments. But that's just fear based, right? When you stop putting work in, that person's got to notice that we're not putting the work in. All right. So it's almost like we've got to give them the opportunity to love us by pulling back. And this is what you're doing, Leo. I want to reach out, but totally not sure of the reception I would get. So, the outcome for you is you're losing passion and you're getting over the betrayal, and all these kind of things. Some of you might be switching up and being a little bit cold on someone that you're already with. They're starting to notice it now. They realize their priorities are all wrong. They want to address the elephant in the room, but they're not sure of your reaction to it because your focus is all about, I'm going to speak up about how I feel made to feel less than. And I find that immature. It's an interesting reading, Leo. Okay. But I don't think you're doing the wrong thing here by, matching someone's energy, As long as you're not doing it out of malice, where that's your primary focus to hurt the other person, by not putting the work in, we do that in a different way, right? We go jogging, we go walking with our friends, dog walking, we go to the gym or whatever. We keep ourselves busy. So the energy we were giving to that person, which seems to be taken for granted or very one-sided or imbalanced, we put it back into ourselves by, working on our spiritual growth, doing things for us as opposed to the primary target is to hurt the other person, hurt people, right? Okay, health. In reverse, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. It came out in reverse. So for the last couple of weeks of May, Leo, certainly watch your health, okay? And, maybe this has been a little bit unhealthy, this situation, and you're going to put that energy, by not working so much and letting them show up and do some work, allowing time from work to spend quality time together, if that's your love language, many love languages, right? Where was I going with that train of thought? I've lost it. It's gone. So it's working on that balance you're going to get victory, guys, by, putting in less work. People are going to start to notice you. And sometimes people put people first who put themselves first. Sounds counterproductive, guys, right? But it's not. It actually works. Let's have a look. So, yeah, one of these, something to pay attention to. Last couple of weeks of May, okay? Something to pay attention to, or something around this situation. Now, it's not going to resonate with all of you. It's not a personal reading, guys. It's, take what fits, leave the rest behind. For those of you who are not in relationships where, or maybe you're single, this reading is just saying, match people's energies. Don't give too much for the last 2 weeks of May. This is how you get noticed, Relationships, intimacy, freedom, acceptance, and trust. So the last couple of weeks of May, Leo, relationships, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, we're in relationship with everybody. And I think really globally, this reading is talking about you matching what you give to what you get. Reciprocity might be very key. And it's all about relationships, okay? Acceptance, trust, freedom, and intimacy. And, if you think about that, intimacy, and then we got freedom. By you not putting the work in, this is how you gain intimacy, because you're giving the other person the chance to love you, right? But, if someone is working 24/7, and your love language is quality time together, then that's always going to throw you a little bit out of balance. So love languages might be really important. And, for some of you guys where, You want to work on relationships throughout the month of May, sit down with your partner and discuss love languages, and it's a great insight into how we can misunderstand or misinterpret people's intentions. Let's say this King of Pentacles, for example, his love language is gifts, giving you gifts or providing you with a nice house, and he's doing it for you. But you see him as, not really putting any work into the relationship. His love language is giving gifts, right? So he's doing that for you because he loves you, building you a castle for a princess, but you want quality time. So those two are completely the opposite, right? Love languages might be quite important for my Leo viewers throughout the last couple of weeks of May. Okay, certainly look into it. All right, if it's not your bag, then obviously check it out and do what you want with the information. So one of these, Leo. Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Okay. And so, how that would sit in this reading, guys, is indecision is a decision. Okay. And that's just the mind, in cognitive dissonance. It's torn between two things and it becomes indecisive, and it becomes then the MO being indecisive. But it looks like your focus is, I want to communicate. Okay, so feel free, stand up for yourself, Leo, throughout the last couple of weeks of May. Find out your love language. Do that research. But before you have these difficult conversations with people, this is who I am. This is what I appreciate, and it's a great way of increasing your bond. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. A romantic gesture in a relationship can be, let's start to understand each other's love languages, because I feel that this is an imbalance here, and you want to fight for connections, and by doing all you can. And love languages is a great place to start. All right, it does work, guys. Don't poo-poo the idea without sitting down and putting it into practice, and certainly really discussing it with your partner, male or female. Okay, my male viewers out there, get to know a little bit about that. That would really help you, with your interactions with, members of the opposite sex. All right. So let's have a look. Without being a simp. Right. Yes, 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 Leo. Yes, yes, yes. Whatever you're asking or wondering about, the answer is a strong yes. The timing is right and you're ready to move forward. And I think really for you, Leo, the month of May might be about you moving forward in your truth, speaking up, okay, only putting in effort where it's merited. You're not rewarding bad behavior with good deeds. You want balance in your life, temperance, upright. This is what you want. And this is how you can walk around the world in peace, because you realize by not giving too much, you allow other people to really see you and celebrate you and love you. If you're giving all the giving, there's no room for anyone to love you back. And you would always feel resentful because you've given too much. And what do I get back? But sometimes we've got to look at ourselves and go, actually, haven't given that person the space to love me. All right. So it's an interesting month for you. Lots of growth, lots of maybe self-realizations, but certainly some assertiveness about how others make you feel. Okay. And don't be afraid of that, speaking up, Leo, throughout the last couple of weeks of May, because look, you've got a lot of love to give. Okay. And, we've got judgment in reverse here, which is all about indecision as well. Remember that indecision becomes a decision. So get very clear with yourselves. Give yourselves a good talking to in the mirror, a good dressing up, a good dressing down. Journal. Learn to communicate with yourself, which improves your communication with other people, if that makes sense. All right. Yeah, that's about it, I think. I'm going to leave you one of these, guys. It's just a positive message to take away from this reading. I always close out my readings with these. I think I did one earlier on the reading, but this is how I normally close out. So why change it now? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, they say. Let's have a look. Choose. Again, indecision might be a key thing for you the last couple of weeks of May. You choose how you feel, Leo. React and perceive. You choose how you feel and react and perceive everything in your life, Leo. Choose to only see through love and positivity. So firstly, loving yourself enough to speak up What do I need from my partner in order to feel like an empress, male or female? Okay. And that can start with love languages, attachment styles. We're very complex, people, aren't we? There's so many different layers to us. And if we're walking around on autopilot, not understanding our own love language and these kind of things, we'll never get somebody else's. So, it's a great little project. Some of you, certainly look into it, all right? And, feedback in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. In the meantime, Leo, take it easy. I hope you enjoyed that. My name's Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you want a personal reading, you can reach out at moderntarot.net or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to help you. In the meantime, Leo, good luck with this. Check out that reading, Who's Thinking About You. And that's it. I'll see you back here for another reading, maybe in June. Take care. Bye now.